All right, scrolling back. Turn compressor back on. Let's see. What are we waiting for here? Spinning. Wait. Okay, so as I was saying, sorry about that, folks. I kind of forgot that there's that little dead zone from going from my home network out here. And the home network reaches out here, but it just does a piss poor job of working. So that's why I normally stream from tethered to my phone out here. So now that I've got that again, we should be in better shape. Let me know if we're not. So what I was saying that nobody was hearing is I'm taking a pause real quick. I've got the Teflon, and I've wrapped it, wrapped the fixture twice where I'm. Wow, it is so. It struggles so hard to white balance, or to color, or to light balance that one. Let me see if there's anything I can do here. Of course, I just messed that up completely. Really? Let's try this again. That's the best looking screen to be seeing right now, right? Trying different settings to see if I can make it be better. And really struggling with the white balance. None of those are very good. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll just have to live with what this camera is capable of doing. Bring her back into frame. But anyway, as I was saying, and you guys weren't able to catch, I ran and grabbed the Teflon that I've left behind and brought it out here, and I've wrapped it twice around. And there was a DIYer I watched that reminded us that either more is better or the philosophy more is better is wrong. So let's go ahead and just go with the two around, unless you guys have some thoughts on that. And I'll do that twice, and we'll try it again. I'm so glad that some of you guys that I'm scrolling back. I'm glad some of you guys stick with me. And hello, wife. Don't need you to bring me anything. I'm good. Hey, I got so many people just coming right back. I love y'all. Stalwarts, all of you. Let me bash my head on that thing for the third time, because that's just what I'm gonna do. And let's start tightening this down and see if we can get it to not leak. Tightening it isn't really going to make it leak or not leak, to be honest. I do think there's some amount of compression or something in there, because it does get harder to spin on, even though there was more threads in there. All right, let's do this next one. And again, I need to go the clockwise motion that I'm going to actually twist it in there. So, yes, this way. My beautiful wife, ladies and gentlemen, she probably saw me outside the kitchen window. She's out in there baking bread this morning. She's been really busy with the household lately, making it beautiful and getting bread making going, which we all love, her bread. All right. Tighten that one down. All right. And then finally, we'll bring this back over. We'll go the other direction while we hold it still. Here. Give that a little tightening. Everything's tight. Everything wants to tip over now because of that. When I give it pressure, we'll set these over here out of the way. And we'll go ahead and grab my torch. And let's actually, before I even need the torch, I just need to see, do we leak? So on with one tank. On with the second tank. On with the regulator. I don't hear any leaks. That's great. It's holding pressure. No leaks. No, nope, that's not true. There's a leak there. I can hear it. It's not on that side. It's on that side. Okay. But I might be able to tighten things to get that go away. Let's find out. No, still got a leak. Might have to take it off and do it again. Now, one normally can just use the, is told to use a soap bubble test, right? Water with soap in it and see where the bubbles come up. But in this case, I can actually just hear it, feel it. So we're going to go ahead and turn it all off again. We don't need any blowing up of Jack Smithy. I don't mind things getting hot in the Smithy. I don't want things to get kablooey in the Smithy. So we're going to go ahead and take that part of the fitting off, as I know that's where the problem is. There we go. These weren't seating down where they should be into the burners earlier. I was concerned about that. And now they started to slide properly into the burners, so we'll look at that too while we're here. All right. Clean out the old Teflon. I know what I'd like to see happen. I'd really like to see the adapter butt up against this, because it's actually got the right size to fit over it. But I don't think that's possible with what I've got here. It very well may be I've got the wrong fitting adapter type situation here. We already know this isn't quite the right Teflon. Based on, I think it was Adam saying I should be using a yellow Teflon. I'm going to go with the secondary belief that more is better, as 2 times around it still leaked. This stuff is thin. We know that much, right? We all know that. So, and I'm actually going to purposefully put some just outside, laying over but not covering the orifice. All right, let's try this again. We'll pre-twist it this way a couple times. Actually, I said I was going to address that real quick too. That's why that doesn't seem right. All right. I will say this about these burners. They are a little odd about how they fit in here. Let me pull this out. I don't like it right now. Make sure it isn't because of something I did there. There's nothing that seems to prevent these burners from sliding straight through. There's no set screw down here on the forge body. And that's just very odd to me. Oh, yes there is. Okay, now I gotta go find something. I was like, that's weird. There are holes there for set screws that I must have left in a place. So now I gotta find the place where I left it. Safe place. So that means I'll never find it. I didn't get rid of any parts. So now I just have to figure out what I did with that part. Control. Aha! What is that? Nope, that's tips. I'll use that in a little bit for another project. Nope. Nope. Let's look inside. It's in a safe place. We all know about those safe places, right? Just look for the pretty pictures. Forge body, refractory bricks, air chalk, burner, user man. See, they talk about set screws only in one place, and that's where you assemble it. They don't show set screws as if it came with them. So that's unusual. I thought I had actually used all the pieces. But it would be very strange for a company to send out a product missing a very important part, like set screws. Ah, maybe it's these. Let's take a look. Do they fit? Pull that out. Put this in. Yes, they do. There's your set screws. They don't specifically say where to put them in, or how deep to put them in. The burners, that is. But that is the right set screw. I didn't lose it after all. I mean, I lost it a long time ago, but that's a different problem. We'll have to do some trial and error, I think, on this to figure out where these go, how far down they need to go. There's that. Believe it or not, love, you actually, if you're still on here, you could bring me a Phillips screwdriver. Or send Jared to. Oh, wait, I might have one in my pocket. I do. Hallelujah. I just found that I had my a gift that was given to me a while ago. I left it out here at one point of my little Nope, nobody can see squat because it's just not bright enough. Let's turn this where maybe we could see something. Hey, look at that light. Bloop. Nope. Okay, so if we turn the camera this way and I stand here in the light, you can see penknife. Has my name on it. The other side says Seattle. That's all. So that's in place now. Everything always finds its way into a safe spot around here. I don't know how much air I should be giving it, so I'm just going to give it the first set of 3 circles along the top to work with. All right. Let's finish up the reinstallation. Fourth time. I am not as smart as a mule, right? That's what that boils down to. There we go. They're now properly seated. And if they weren't supposed to be seated all the way at the bottom, then they should have made it so that they wouldn't seat all the way at the bottom. All right. We'll pre-twist it. We will then... Nope. Let's try it again. I'm already not happy with what I'm seeing with the Teflon, so why in the world is it behaving like that? It should just thread right on. Murphy's Law, right? Didn't somebody say that? Yeah. All right, let's find out. Pretty quick to find out. I don't even need to turn on 2 tanks. We're not doing anything yet. No leak. Or if there is, it's such a small leak, I won't even ever notice it. All right, let's turn the other tank on. That's 20 pounds of pressure. Well, that burner's working great. Let's check the other one. Yep. We have 2 burners flying. Huzzah! We got one last thing to do. You guys can't see it. That's hilarious. Well, you'll see it as it gets hotter. One last thing to do. We got to make something hot and hit it. All right, let's see what you guys have been talking about. Wow, been very talkative. I need to grab my water bottle. I'm thirsty. Can you guys actually see my feet now? Let me just scroll down. Yep, on fire. I hear lots of popping going on over there. I don't know, there shouldn't be any moisture. I mean, it sat in my house for a few weeks, right? It shouldn't be really much moisture left in the forge, but it's not impossible. It's got good flame shape. Let's see. Are we right up on it? We are. You can't get any closer than that. Sorry. I mean, I could walk the camera over, but we're getting good. It's got the right shape of the feather. Probably, let's take a look. top. Let's go out here. Regulator says I'm at 5 pounds. I'm going to turn it down a little. I don't really need it to be that much. Not a lot. Half, little, I'm about 0.3 bars, 0.35 bars. I'm not trying to get this to forge welding temperature. What I am trying to do is get it to twist that railroad spike temperature. I'm going to leave the back burner on just because I want it to heat the whole forge up this time. Yeah, I'm just so excited because at this point that means I could actually do multiple projects at a time. Put my twisting wrench back over here. And my other wrench down below where it belongs. Got to be more careful about where I'm bending over. Let's go ahead and put some doors on the back of this side of this. There's one door. Getting nice and toasty. There's another door. Dragon's Best should be nice and big out the front now. There we go. Now I think I can safely close this door. Aren't you glad he didn't call you a banana? Okay, scrolling back. Wrapping in the wrong direction. I thought you would wrap it in the direction that the thread was turning. That way you're not taking the Teflon off as you're trying to turn it on. Turn on the nut. I did not know that. Gas connections, armor flex. Okay. Oh no, they didn't bother to send yellow tape. Hey, look at that. It's getting up to forging temperature. Yes, that's right. Railroad spike temperature is an American temperature. We got 5 minutes for me to hit something. I will be doing that, Thomas, but I'm actually going to do it a few times. And the reason is simple. I want to know, really, is the edge of my anvil or the horn better? And does a rounding hammer versus, my Hoffy hammer versus a straight peen make a difference? Does the weight versus, because I got two different rounding hammers too. I've got dag nabbit, you are, a Farrier's rounding hammer versus a Brazil style rounding hammer. So I want to try all of those. All right, so we got all the tip we need. We are going to go ahead and change directions here. We all get our favorite view, the quench tank. We'll zoom out a bit. There we go, a real good view of the quench tank. I'll try to move through here without knocking stuff over or disconnecting anything. And it's time. Actually, I already did hit stuff. Now it's time to twist stuff. Twist and shout like we did last summer. And I will need a twisting wrench for this. Let's get a good. There we go. Let's grab it. Bring it on over. We're going to go ahead and open it up pretty good. Get a hold of it. Close her down. Where to go? Halfway. One. Halfway. Two. Halfway. And three. All right. We've just done a 3-turn. It's starting to cool off enough. I've got a ready fuel source here. We'll go ahead and put it back in there. The twists aren't all that consistent, but we're going to untwist them after we square things up. All right, we're going to see how this thing behaves when I turn off one of the burners. Because it's gotten up to a good temperature at this point. I think I'll use my offset tongs. Be a little easier to hold this with. We're going to go ahead and square this thing back up again. Give everybody motion sickness. There we go. propane crank on that forge. Yeah, it doesn't seem quite right anymore, does it? All right, just in case Adam gets, disappeared here. Eric, just a beginner project set from the book to get some feedback on the instructions and clarity. Nothing overly challenging or important. Yeah, it doesn't feel right that I'm not standing there cranking. When am I actually going to talk if I actually can keep doing work, right? Oh, wow. The speed that it just heated up. I can't remember the last time I was able to have that. I'm not trying to forge now, I'm just trying to get things bent right in the direction I want it. Now because the head of that got twisted around a little bit as I was working on it. I think that is as much squaring up as I need to do. I am so pleased. Next we just need to score this on the 4 sides again. Which we can do next week with a fully functioning, brand new, don't have to wait for much at all, propane forge. Oh, that's so nice. I am going to go ahead and do the crazy thing because I got you all as witnesses. We're going to go ahead and do a quick flame test as far as leaks are concerned. I do actually happen to have a lighter, not a blowtorch just hanging out here. So, okay, there is a leak there. It's a very little leak, but it's a leak. No leaks elsewhere, but there is a slight leak there. I am not too concerned about it, all things considered. I'm going to go ahead and turn my tanks off now. But I think I will be applying the correct Teflon, taking it all apart again, and then doing what I'm supposed to with it. Let me go ahead and take pressure off of this. Open it back up again real quick. Now that everything's off. There we go. I love this. So, some things that are better about this than Devil's Forge. And by the way, on top of which, I think this was actually cheaper than Devil's Forge was. Let me just switch over to this camera. So the forge that I had in here previously, you can see it right here. Get off there. It's heavy as sin now because I got, Castellite 30 in there. But this forge is a Devil's Forge, and it's not going to be thrown away. It's still a decent forge body, but the burners were shot. And couple of things about those burners. Number one, they were just an all-in-one piece build. Those burners were, and that meant they weren't serviceable at all. Number one. Number two, they didn't have a threaded connection. They just had a clamp connection. I can see benefits either way. But personally, I prefer a threaded connection. That's just maybe a personal preference. And so I ended up putting my own threaded connection on it, which is why, I knew exactly what kind of fitting I had, because I had to actually, silver solder the fitting on to the fuel line that they had on there. Now, with that in mind, so the forge body, like I said, isn't really the problem. It's a decent forge body. It's the burners. So we're going to go back over here. I'm going to talk about these burners real quick. That makes this a better product than the Devil's Forge. Setting aside the let me see if I can get a better light on it. No, not really. It's not the light that's the problem. It's the backing light that's the problem. I got to figure out how to deal with that. All right. So, like I said, the other problem was that the orifices were basically permanently affixed to the burner itself. Whereas this, as you saw, I had to assemble onto it. The air intake was the spin dial type. I don't care. That's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. I do happen to see the merit of these, but it's also possible these could get to be too hot to touch, right? So, there's that. The other thing I can say about this is the forge burner design down at the flare is different on these. It actually, and I can see it. I can see that it has a better feather inside the forge as a result of that. Oh, that was the other thing. The orifices had a single shut-off. No, did it? Did it have two? No, it had two shut-offs. That's right, because I would always keep the back one off. I rarely needed to do anything as long as the forge. So I always kept the back one off and only did the front one. I only did, for the first few firings, I'm going to do both because I want to make sure that any residual moisture in this gets, heated up and pulled out. And I don't want to have that differential that might happen if I don't do it the way I've, with both burners. So there's that. But all in all, what it really boils down to is it means that these burners can be replaced when they fail. I mean, should they fail? No. But things happen, and especially up in the orifices, they fail. And it's serviceable. You can tell that if I needed to, I probably could get a hold of somebody and just replace the orifice itself, not have to replace the, whatever this is called. It's not a manifold. I just can't think of what it's called, that you are taking the fuel through and splitting it out to the two different orifices, valves and orifices. So it makes it a better quality burner at minimum. The one thing I really liked about the Devil's Forge that this doesn't have are doors. But I've also watched a lot of smiths, and few of them actually use doors. They just use the bricks. I'm going to be using the bricks on this, and we'll see how that works for me. This is a stainless steel body, so I feel that it might actually have a longer life than the other one. But frankly, the other one's, yes, covered in rust, and yes, I can see on the doors, rust flaking off because, heat. But it looks like it's actually still going to stand up for quite some time, especially with the Castellite 30 in there. So, that's my breakdown. I'm not doing a review. This is not a paid, review. I bought this thing. It's just the things I'm seeing just out of the box that I prefer this over, the previous one that I had. And as you saw, I didn't work with the previous one for for the last year because it's failed. Now that I have these burners, I may pluck them out of there just long enough to see if they would work inside of the Devil's Forge. And that way, if I needed to, I could order a couple of replacement burners from Vevor, if it's possible, and put them into the Devil's Forge and have two forges out here. So that's that. Scroll back. Hi, Daniel. Hi, other Daniel. Thanks for dropping in. We got Roberts and Robs, and so now when the Doublemint twins show up, with the spin type choke, you shouldn't need to touch them often. Once they are set and dialed in, you shouldn't need to adjust them. Yes, agreed. I never really had to. But I think the same is going to be true with these slide style chokes. I don't see. I honestly couldn't tell the difference with between having them half open and having them a third open. About the only thing that worries me about Vevor, it's the same thing that worried me about Devil's Forge, is ability to actually contact someone for service. But it appears Vevor isn't going away anytime soon. And they keep actually adding new products for our hobby. So, yeah. Okay, I can check out Gameco. Yeah. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate it. I think what I need to do now is bid you all a good weekend. And if you have I've already gotten, Rob has helped me, and I appreciate that quite a lot. If anybody out there has connections in the software industry, whether it's software as a service or internal, building software for an enterprise, let me know. I'm on the market. Layoff happened Thursday, and my whole team was laid off, and so I can definitely spread the love to my teammates as well, if it doesn't seem to be something that aligns with my skill set, but one of theirs. So just reach out to me, let me know. And by the way, we all have been working remote, so if this is not a U.S. company, hint, Adam, we'll probably still be able to work something out, as long as they have things set up to afford U.S. workers. Otherwise, appreciate y'all being with me and hanging out with me while I got this thing up and running. It was it was a trip, and an exciting outcome. So that's, as a former operator, I'm all familiar with layoffs, but that's, I hear you. But I'm too young to retire, unfortunately, and even when I get old enough to retire, I don't think I'll be able to afford to. So we're going to see if we can turn some of these hobbies into ways to supplement retirement. But I don't know. The amount of time and brain cells that gets used up in my career field, I don't really have a whole lot of extra to spare towards building secondary lines of income. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, thanks for hanging with me, and as always, love and light.